Hello students, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to see what is the process of making multimedia and how to make a multimedia. And these are the topic that involves the process of making the multimedia. So the first thing is we will find out or we will analyze what is the idea behind making this multimedia. And second one is we will conduct a test around how we can and how it has been analyzed, what is the requirement of the user and what is the purpose of making this multimedia. And then we will plan the task and then we will develop that multimedia and then we will find out how to deliver this multimedia. Okay. The first thing is we will see about the idea analysis, or you can say the first thing is we will get to know about the planning and costing. Okay, how before making a multimedia, it involves planning and costing. That is the most important thing. The first thing is what is the goal of this making of this multimedia? What is the program goal? Why we are making this multimedia? What is the purpose behind this multimedia? Then after finding out the goal and the purpose of this making this multimedia, we will have an outline of this multimedia and then we will have a flow chart which consists of what is the logic in this whole concept, this making of this multimedia, and then we will move on to the final stage, the storyboard of this multimedia. So the multimedia development phase consists of four major phases. The first one is discovery phase. That is, you have the creative idea of making this multimedia. Then uh, the discovery phase is in the mind. You can say is in the imagination part of it, and then it comes to the design phase where it comes to the pen and pencil, or you can say using a system, using a software, we will design the multimedia, and then we will have a prototype, that is the sample, and then it will move on to the production phase. So the main importance of the multimedia and why we need to plan a before creating a multimedia, why we need to plan is in order to avoid the misinterpretation in developing a multimedia project. Why means it provides a guidance for fixing the bugs, and also it provides a guidance for updating the multimedia. So the planning of multimedia, which it avoids the misinterpretation and also it provides a guidance. So these are the two most important uh, aspect in planning a multimedia: misinterpretation, to avoid the misinterpretation, and also it provides a guidance for the multimedia. And what are the essentials of uh, planning of a multimedia? What is it? If you want to say the planning is good in a multimedia, these are the essential features that we need to look forward to. The first one is the personal. What kind of multimedia do you have? For example, a multimedia consists of various experts. You have the audio, you have the video expert, you need the graphic expert, you need persons who is well versed in editing aspect, and those are the people you need. So if you're planning for if you're going to make a multimedia, or if you want a good plan, means make sure you have a good multimedia team, and then you choose the best development life cycle, because without the life cycle it is impossible to have outline of what this multimedia or what is this process involved in this multimedia. And the last most important thing is, or you can say next most important thing is documentation, because I think you would have learned in OOAD as well as in software engineering is that documentation provides at least 80% of work done if the documentation is well versed. If the documentation is not in a format that is prescribed by the team, the whole product will automatically fail. And the last part of the essentials of good planning is the product evaluation. After creating the what do you call this multimedia, you need to have a product evaluation. And next one is we'll move on to the storyboard, and how it has been done. The first thing is you need to have a script, you need to have a concept, you need to have a program script, and then we will move on to when you have the script, you will have an idea about what to do, then you will have outline of that, then you will create a flow chart. A flow chart means how the scenes will be created from scene 1 to scene 2 to scene 2 to the final scenario, how the whole multimedia will pan out, and then we'll have a storyboard. So that's the part of the programming goals aimed to the multimedia. And then we'll move on to the process management, where what type of the life cycle you'll use. For example, there are hundreds and hundreds of life cycle available in the market. You have the prototype life cycle model, you have the spiral life cycle model, you have the linear, you have the incremental, you have the waterfall, you have the various life cycle models. So life cycle model plays an important role in making of any product, for kind of, not only for multimedia. If you want to create, you want to develop a want to create a develop our product, you need to select, or you need to know what kind of development life cycle that you have. This is an example of a waterfall development method, where it consists of why, what, where, how. Here you can say the planning, the analysis, design, implementation, and then finally the product. So this is the waterfall development development method. Next one is documentation part. I've already told you there is a rule called 80-20 rule. If you have a good documentation, definitely the 80% of whole developing the product is over. Only 20% is you need. So 20, if you done the 20% of documentation, you can see the 80% of the whole product is over. Okay, so there are 4 parts in a documentation of a multimedia project. Whereas you have the required document, what are the requirements, what is the blueprint of this multimedia, and what has to be done, and how the project will be done. And then you need the flow chart, the logical representation, logical progression of this product, and also the navigation. And you need to know the storyboard, which consists of the task, the objects that you have used, the events that you have used, the contents of this product, and the scene by scene, the scenario. And then finally, you will test out the documentation, how the whole process is done, how the multimedia is created, and what kind of multimedia project that you have created, and who tested the documentation process, so and so. So the flow chart plays a major role. The logical flow chart plays a major role, because it consists of a graphical sketch of a presentation, or you can say a flow chart is a graphical representation of the procedures. Sometimes if you explain a procedure or how this whole process is done using a text, means it will not reach the people, or it might not be easily understandable. But if you change that into graphical representation, then you have overall idea, and anyone, the end user, even the simplest person can understand what is this whole process behind this creating the multimedia. So for example, you have a menu, you have topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. So flowchart is nothing but a graphical representation of an algorithm in terms of computer. And the logical flow, and this is an example of a logical flow in creating a multimedia or making of a multimedia. So you open the software, the animation and audio, where you need to find out what is the biography, what is the discography, that is, it contains the album, the information audio, and then you need the video resources, and so and so, and how this whole the multimedia will be delivered. Okay, so this is an example of a graphical representation of a user screen layout, how the screen layout will be seen to the will be viewed by the what you call as the user. So the user will have the for example, the card one representation. The card one here, it has a title, it has a menu, so on. So in the left hand side, in the right hand side, you will have the idea of what the user will view, or what is this user screen layout is consist of, or you can say graphical representation of this user. So this is a content of the storyboard, or you can say this is a overview of the storyboard. You have the main menu, which consists of the menu items, pictures, and you have the albums menu. So these are all some kind of outline of how the storyboard will be there. So before planning a multimedia, for planning and costing a multimedia, or if you want to create a multimedia, you need to have these things, the idea analysis, what kind of analysis has been done. You need to have a task planning. And if you have a good planning, if you have a good, for example, you're making of a good planning, or if you have a good documentation, then the whole process will be done. Thank you so much. And uh, and make sure you learned about it. If you have any comments, means you can, if you have any feedback, means you can very well do it in the comment section. Thank you.